Hello and welcome back to another video tutorial here at Geekatplay Studios. My name is Gary Miller, and this tutorial is about making a pumpkin for the Halloween holiday. And Geekatplay Studios is hosting a modeling challenge in Hexagon, so feel free to dust off your copy of Hexagon and model a Halloween pumpkin. And you can go to Geekatplay.com and look up the official rules for entering into this modeling contest. I'll let you know right off the bat that the model must be created in Hexagon, and there are some additional rules, but I'll let you peruse those at your convenience. So this is my pumpkin that I created here in Hexagon, and as you notice, let me turn off my base. I've got it's got the pumpkin shape to it. It's got those irregular those dimples, whatever they're called, those little indentations, and created a stem. And notice here, even though I have a high level of smoothing applied to my my model, I still have a nice sharp edge here that that retains the fidelity of what the stem looks like as it's attached to the pumpkin. And let me spin around and show you the other side. I got a little creative, and since this is a Halloween modeling challenge, feel free to get as spooky and creative or as funny and humorous and goofy as you like. You can create a realistic pumpkin or a great looking cartoon pumpkin. However you want, use your imagination and exercise your creativity. So let's get started creating our pumpkin. I'm going to come up here to 3D Primitives tab. I'm going to click on Sphere, and that looks good. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the number of points to 10. Now I'm going to come over here and grab my select edges. I'm going to select any one of the vertical edges. I'm going to loop that. What I want to do is deselect the top ones, spin around underneath. I'm going to deselect my bottom ones, and now I'm going to hit my ring function, or my ring tool up there. Now over here in my properties box, I'm just going to adjust the 1 over n function, which you can also find under, if you right click, come under advanced selection, 1 over n. This does the same thing. Now I've got you know, a space between here, every third vertical line selected. And with those selected, I'm just going to scale up, and I'm going to apply one level of smoothing because I don't want to apply too much. Make it however you like. I'm going to go ahead and validate that. That looks good. Now I'm going to spin around to a top view, and this is why I decided to make my pumpkin with 10 points. If I chose just the regular 9 points, notice the blue arrow, which is my z-axis. If I chose 9 points, my the arrow, the center of my z-axis, would have been lined up with one of my edges. Instead, because I chose 10 points, the center of my z-axis lines up with a face or a polygon. And the reason why I wanted that is because if this is the front of my pumpkin, now I can just select any polygon I want here and start by creating a nose, and it would be right in the middle. Or I can select those two and create my eyes. So that's why I chose 10 instead of 9. Okay, let's come down here to the bottom. I'm going to loop those bottom edges, and on my y-axis, again, I use the universal manipulator up here, which gives me immediate access to my axis tools, and I'm just going to straighten out this selection of edges that I made and make it flat. I'm going to come up here to select points, and I'm just going to bring that point up. I just want to create a flat bottom to my pumpkin, which is why I created a base. Let me unlock my base. What I want to do is I'm going to disable that. What I want to do is make sure my pumpkin is not poking through, because when I go and bring this into view, it will most likely be seated on a flat surface, and I just want to get an idea on the flatness of my pumpkin, and that looks pretty good. Let me look at it from this angle. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Don't need our base anymore, so this is our pumpkin. And let's come up here to the top and create a stem. Click on Select Edges. I'm going to loop that selection. I'm going to come up here under my Vertex Modeling Tools, and I'm going to click on Select Edges, and I'm going to come down here to the second tool right here, which is Extract Around or Along. And I'm going to grab my handle here, and I'm going to dial in a small radius, about like that. I'm going to come up here to Select Faces. I'm going to select all those inner faces, come up here to my Sweep Surface tool. Now I'm going to hit my space bar, because what I initially want is to use the axial function here. And I'm just going to come up just a little bit. I'm going to click once, and now I'm going to hit my space bar until it gives me the sweep option, which allows me to sweep it pretty much any direction I want. And now I'm just going to click 4 times, 3, 4, and just create a little curve, interesting profile. I'm not going to use my soft selection tool to taper this down. I find I have better results, at least for this particular application, just manually selecting them. And all I'm doing is selecting edges and hitting the loop command. And I'm just creating a little stem here. It'll probably be a little smaller. And let's bring that point in. I think I'm going to add a little variation here. I'm going to loop that, and I'm going to give it a little twist. Loop that one, and give that a little twist in the opposite direction. Make it look like it's been picked a while ago and it's gotten old and dried out. Now I think what I want to do is I want to drag this out a little bit. Select that point, drag that out a little bit. Now, to make it look a little bit older, I'm just going to add a little bit of curve to it, a little bit of a bend. I think what I want to do is I want to duplicate these or extract these just to create a little bit more detail here. Now I know it looks rough, but we've only got one level of smoothing on. As we increase the smoothing, the model will look a little bit better. And we can also play around with expanding the width if it gets tweaked too much and doesn't look right. Okay, now I'm going to come down here to this bottom ring. I'm going to loop that. I'm going to extract that edge. And I'm going to come in, come out a little bit. There we are. Select that. I'm going to grow it out a little bit. And raise it up. Grow it out a little bit more, expand it. Tilt it just a little bit, bring it up. And we have, at least at this level of smoothing, a nice little edge along here. Perhaps a little bit more. There we are. Bring that selection of edges down. Now we've got a nice, crisp edge here where the stem attaches to the pumpkin. If you look around, it looks pretty neat. So that is our pumpkin, created very simply here in Hexagon. I think what I will do is adjust these. I'm going to loop that. I'm going to hit my Shift key, hold down Shift, and I'm going to hit the plus button on the numeric side of my keypad, and I'm going to hit it once more, and I'm just increasing the number of selected edges by doing so. I'm just going to scale them up and flatten them down a little bit, hoping not to make them look like a clove of garlic. And there's Mr. Jack-o'-lantern. There's our holiday pumpkin done right here in Hexagon, and it looks pretty good. Now I'm not going to go into creating the facial features. That's up to you if you'd like to. And but what I will do is just give you a little demonstration on things to I guess the basic procedure. You want to select your faces and use your sweep surface tool. For the eyes, I'm going to use the axial function first because I want to create an inner radius before I sweep inside. And the reason is because it'll give me a sharper edge for the I guess the perimeter of the eye. So with my radial function, my radial function, I'm just going to dial in an inner radius, click, and now I'll hit my space bar, and now I get my axial function, and now I can go inward for the eyes. And now at this time I want to enable my X symmetry, and now I can just play around with my eyeballs, my eye sockets. And you can take it from here. Get as creative as you like, and we've got some good prizes. Certainly worth the time spent modeling one and entering the contest. So good luck to everyone, and I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and I hope to see lots of people entering into this fun little challenge. And good luck, and thanks for watching here at Geekatplay Studios. My name's Gary Miller. Have a good day.